Hello, Bharat Udyog Gaurav community. We are here at the World Trade Expo 2023. And look who I have with me, Dr. Valsan Vethody, the Consul General of Sri Lanka. Sir, glad to have you here. We welcome you at the Buck Studio. This segment is talking a lot about trade and tourism about Sri Lanka and the India. Could you tell us a little more about it?
I think there are three elements.
Technology as well.
Yeah, trade, then
Tourism and
tourism,
technology.
and technology. Anyway, I'll start with trade.
Mm.
I think, as I mentioned in my speech, trade is bilateral trade between India and Sri Lanka is almost $5 billion. I should say that $4.8 billion. Out of that, I should say that, 85%, 85 to 90% are in favor of India, because we don't have that sort of a product, which can be sent to India. But there are a lot of possibilities of expanding this base, because we have a free trade, already we have a free trade agreement, but that free trade agreement is going to be graduated into SEPA now,
Okay.
where the service sector also will be, included. So once it comes to service sector, I'm sure that we will be in a better position, because, our nation is a bit of a service-oriented nation. So
Certainly.
there is a huge scope there.
I see a lot of scope happening because geographically there's so much proximity with a country that irrespective of trade, free trade, it comes instantly to your mind that it's the neighboring countries which will benefit the most.
I
And
know,
I think you're doing that.
but I should say that, as you know, that our nation is a very small nation. We are only 65,640 square kilometer, and population-wise only 22 million population, right? For a 22 million population, when you compare with, 140 billion population,
Yeah.
right? This is, I feel that this itself is a great achievement.
Right. Right.
And the other one for the trade, what's happening is, most of our products are more or less similar in nature. If you look at, if you look at agro products or industrial products, definitely, we cannot compete with India, because India has the volume of scale, right? And your cost of production is much, much, much less. But in our case, that way, industrial production, the competition may be very difficult. Agro products, it's more or less the same products, except probably spices. Right? Spices, I should say that our spices, especially the cinnamon, is the only authentic cinnamon in the world.
Yes.
All the others, what I understand is, they sell cassia as cinnamon,
Correct.
right? But once again, unfortunately, Indian market is very price sensitive market, very, very price sensitive market. But we see an opportunity, because one thing I noticed, within my 2 years of experience in Mumbai, a niche market is already in existence. But only thing is, it's up to us, how to, exploit that market. And in fact, we have already, have some sort of an understanding with, Haribol, the brand Haribol,
Right.
that is connected with ISKCON, right? ISKCON. They have a plan of empowerment of farmers, and they have chosen Sri Lanka as one of the nations.
So
They,
commendable.
they are targeting spices, our spices, maybe to the high-end market. So that is being worked out now.
That's really commendable to know.
Yeah.
How about we discuss furthermore about few sectors which are doing extremely well for exports for
What is
Sri Lanka
that?
to the Indian market?
I say that gem and jewelry, one area, because, once you look at the jewelry thing in India, that is part of culture. Your weddings, your festivals,
Yes.
even temple, every occasion you have, you all wear a lot of jewelries,
Right.
and we are excellent in jewelry. And the other one is, of course, garments. Garments, our garments are excellent, because we produce some niche market garments. And I don't know whether you know that even Victoria's Secret is manufactured in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And some of our garment factories are moving out now, right, with the technical know-how given to Bangladesh, Madagascar, African countries. And even in India, in Visakhapatnam, one of our companies, that is Brantiques, they have made an investment of $1 billion, right, in 1,000-acre land. And they are thinking of, that's the process of being done. they are thinking of doing from cotton to garment, right? To the
Very
full integration.
astonishing number.
Yeah, full integration.
How about we talk now? We move to the segment of tourism. Where do you feel? I think every Indian, once in a lifetime, definitely goes to Sri Lanka.
I see a lot of smile on your face.
Yeah.
And the moment I came and sat here, you told me that your smile is good enough, than
Right.
the other cosmetics.
Yeah.
But I say that my smile is only a symbolic representation of Sri Lanka
Huh.
because we are always proud that we consider Sri Lanka as a smiling nation, right? Everybody smiles there. Jokingly, on a lighter note, I always used to say that wherever I go and make my presentation, I say that whenever you land in Sri Lanka, you will see a lot of smiles, and Sri Lankans, any Sri Lankan you come across, will smile at you, but you got to be very careful when you smile at a Sri Lankan because the moment you smile, you will get invited to his or her home for a lunch or a dinner,
Oh, so sweet.
and you will be given a shocking treatment of hot and spicy gastronomical shock.
That is so hospitable country. That is so fantastic to know.
No, more than hospitality is one area.
Huh.
And hospitality, I don't think any nation can beat us, because our people are very hospitable, like very, very hospitable. The other thing is, like I said, our land is only 65,640 square kilometer, which is, I should say, that maybe 40% bigger than Kerala, because Kerala is 45,000 square kilometer.
Oh.
But our population is, I think Kerala is 36 million population, and in our case, only 22 million population.
Right.
So that itself is it itself is a tourism potential, because we are not very thickly populated, right? And the stress is less because of that. And I should say that within that, the tourism wonders are packed into it. Because our nation is a nation, we have 320 days of rain and 365 days of sunshine. And that itself enhances the beauty, the natural beauty
makes
of
it
the
a very
thing.
tropical
Yeah,
nature.
very, very tropical nature.
Right.
And more than that, we have 132 rivers and 160 waterfalls.
That is very good.
And if you look at Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka, if you look at the tourism map of Sri Lanka, as you know that it's an island nation.
Yes.
Right around, wherever you go, right, whale watching, dolphin,
Yes.
and tropical jungles, mountain valleys, right, and mountain villages, and heritage. When it comes to history, heritage sites are fantastic.
Right.
Our, Buddhist as well as Ramayana sites.
Yeah, there are a lot of monasteries. There's so many temples which have
Toba.
culture and history going right
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
The architecture is tremendous.
And Ramayan Trail, if you look at Ramayan Trail, we have 43 identified sites. 43 identified sites. And I say that because, we basket it as, saying that Ramayan Trail, but there are 4 trails. One is after Sita was abducted, right? How Ravana took Sita to various palaces.
Yes.
That trail is there. That has been identified at various places.
Yes.
Then you have Hanuman trail, how Hanuman came and tried to track down Sita. Then Rama's trail, how Rama came and how the war was conducted. And after the war, the Agni Pariksha, even that site is identified, right?
So there is a mythological cord which has already been there over these many years, and India and Sri Lanka has a lot of history. But at the same time, I would like to take up the next segment, which is technology, and I would like to understand that with tourism, with so much of tropical environment that you have, is there Sri Lankan government doing much for the green energy? Are you trying to have carbon free stuff?
As of now, our target is by 250, we want to be 100% carbon neutral.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to the power generation. But what I understand is the latest thing, according to American Energy Association, I don't exactly remember that association's name, According to them, our wind energy potential in Sri Lanka is 70 to 80,000 megawatts.
Okay.
Which is huge for a tiny little island.
Yeah, for a tiny little
Little island. And our consumption, power consumption is only 12 to 30,000 megawatts.
Okay.
And also now recently, when our president visited India, there was some sort of an MOU signed between India and Sri Lanka about this green energy development and also
Yes.
grid connection. And as of now, if you connect to the grid, that may not be practical because Indian grid is huge, right? Really big one. And our grid is very small.
Right.
Right, small. So that may not be practical. So there is a huge opportunity of, this wind energy exploitation. And because it's an island nation, right around you have the seawater, even there is a huge potential for green hydrogen.
Green hydrogen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
green
going to come to that.
And I should say that I don't want to name the companies, There are quite a few Indian companies, 3, 4 Indian companies, I should say that industrial giants, already interested in investing like even up to $20 billion, $25 billion in this sector.
Especially in the country of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Because I see that because if you look at our Mana Basin,
Huh.
You may call it even Kaveri Basin.
We know it as
Like Tamil
Kaveri.
Nadu.
Yeah. Huh.
Both are interconnected. Both are interconnected. If you connect these two, I should say that the renewable energy potential is huge.
Which is why it was very necessary in this segment to come up with this kind of a topic, because everybody should know that apart from us being very neighboring countries, there is a lot that Sri Lankan government is getting from the Indian government. And at the same time, Indians are very happy to utilize the resources, to be there in Sri Lanka, to enjoy it as a country, because the climate is very similar to what Kerala is. And I mean, we always feel it's like a second home. And you very rightly mentioned, I would like to conclude it that Sri Lanka is a smile country. The happiness quotient of Sri Lankans is very high. So people should come there, and we would always want to invite you here.
I should say that one thing. Now, just recently, I think a couple of days back, I saw one small, because of this Canadian issue came, how many tourists are going, Indian tourists are outbound as well as inbound tourists. And I was amazed to see one statistics. For a tiny little nation like Sri Lanka, right, where we have only 22 million population, 1.8 million Sri Lankans visit India. 1.8 million. On the other hand, from India to Sri Lanka, strongly I should say that, say 600, 700,000. So I should say that if you look at the reciprocity out of 140, out of 140 billion people,
Math and you get it.
yeah, have to get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I take this opportunity to invite all Indians to visit Sri Lanka. And I'm sure that Sri Lankans will continue to visit India because, as you know, that 70% of our population are Buddhists, and each and every Buddhist, their aspiration is at least once in a lifetime they want to visit India and visit all the Buddhist sites, all important Buddhist sites, and they are doing it. I think when it comes to economics, you don't need an invitation. Wherever the opportunities are there, economics will flow. And I'm sure that Indian investors will come in as much as the Sri Lankan investors invested in India. I think Indian investors will definitely invest in Sri Lanka. I'm a bug hero.